Hi, welcome to Invictus Motors. We've got this Porsche 911 Targa. This is the 991.1 Targa 4S, and this basically goes back to the Targa shapes of the mid-60s up until the early 1990s. So these were first launched in terms of the 911 Targa. Just the name Targa was launched in 1965 at the Frankfurt Motor Show, and the name Targa comes from a famous race in Italy, Sicily to be precise, and Porsche from a motorsports team point of view had a lot of success with that race, and the Targa Florio, Porsche's success associated with it, and that's where sort of the idea of the 911 Targa came from. They'd considered other names, but the 911 Targa was what it was. So 1965 is when it was sort of launched. 1967 is when they started to actually put out the 911 Targas out there to the market. And back then you could actually spec one where you basically had a plastic window at the back with just a little bit of a soft top that you had to kind of roll up, put in the front boot, and the plastic window completely put down. And before I actually get into sort of the history of the Targas, starting from 1965 up until, let's just say, this modern day 911 Targa, I just would like to also mention the idea of why Porsche said, well, hang on a second, we'll make a car such as this. That started because in America, in the United States, they were completely considering to ban convertibles just due to safety reasons. So Porsche came up with the idea where they will install these safety bars here. So in case the vehicle rolls over, it doesn't kill all of its passengers immediately. So you've got this roll bar there that will protect its passengers at all times. And that's where the whole concept of Porsche working on this Targa thing came from. So from 1965 up until the G-bodied 911s that I think started to roll off in the mid-1970s, this is continued, and that then continued even into the 964 Targas. And obviously there were always little bit of changes where they said, well, the 964 Targa has got 70% new parts, but they were almost identical in terms of the aesthetics of it, the way it looked, just the overall look and feel and the dimension of the car. Yeah, things like the front bumpers on the 964s would have changed, the back bumpers, and there would have been a little bit more technology and just moving in the right direction. But where a huge leap happened was in the early 90s with the Porsche 911, the 993, where they installed a full-on glass roof. Basically the back end was glass, this section was glass, and you could almost compare it to having one of these sort of new Mercedes with a full-on glass roof. And I think to me, it didn't really resonate with it being sort of that soft top Targa, but it had a lot of success. It still was a beautiful car. It was a 911 built on the body shape of a convertible with this gorgeous, big, huge glass roof. But ultimately, it's this look and feel is what I'm trying to then get to eventually in the history of the 911 Targas. So that sort of a thing continued from the 993 to the 996, which is from 1997 to 2004. It then continued into the 997 from 2004 up until 2011. And in 2014, this was the 911 Targa that was introduced back to the world, and having all of this mechanical system here and seeing some of the mechanical components underneath there where the roof is opening, it's actually not only at quite an efficient and a fast speed, but it's bulletproof mechanism. And seeing that this whole section is soft top, this is glass, and having it all open at such a fast pace and being incredibly durable, especially from the motors that are there to open and close that roof. I've got nothing else to say but have the ultimate and the highest regard possible that you could give to Porsche engineers, because this is now almost 10 years later, and to those motors there, they don't need to be sort of stripped apart, rebuilt, because as long as they're just maintained and serviced and the drains are cleared and the car is having its maintenance and regular servicing and it's checked over, making sure the battery is in good health, it will last forever. And this is 10 years later. So 10 years later, this Porsche 911 first registered in 2015. It's done 73,000 miles. It's a one owner from new. It's got a very good service history as well, which I will get to in a minute. But before I actually talk about anything else in terms of like the spec of the car and what it's basically about it from a specification point of view, because this is for sale here with us at Invictus, what I'd like to do is to actually take it out for a drive. Before I can get into the rest of the video and the review, please don't forget to subscribe. We earn out of YouTube. That money we, as a matter of fact, donate to charity. So it goes a long way, you guys watching the videos, promoting our business, promoting what we do. So give us that like and subscribe button. Just from the internal specification side of things, this has got the sports steering wheel, the sports chrono, the sports seats with 14-way electrically memory and with adjustable seating. They're heated. You've got the European navigation system, the Bose sound system, finished in this gorgeous dark blue metallic with a 20-inch Carrera S 911 wheels. It's a very well spec and just a beautifully put together Porsche 911, and the mileage currently at 74,000 miles. It's all a one owner from new, a one lady owner from new car. And the fact it's got cruise control tells me, and just from the overall condition of it, just tells me and gives you all the indication that it's had most of its mileage done on the motorway. So if you're looking for something rare, something to keep forever with good service history, a one owner from new, also in good condition, then this is the car. So I'll just do a short drive around the village here, just illustrating the aesthetics. And you know, this sort of a sports car is definitely something that one can just daily drive around, even if it's to a school run. Not something I'd recommend just to a school run and that's it, because I do think sports car should be driven and should have mileage like the mileage that I see that's on the car. But ultimately, you know, you can't go wrong with potentially doing some short drives on a car like this. And I'll actually put it in sports settings. Press the sport button. I'm not going to turn on the PSM and let's hear it growl. Initially, so just pressing that sports button, opening it up a little bit. And having the sports steering wheel with paddle shifts is it's a huge benefit to the overall, not just the look, but the feel and the experience that one gets from driving it because of the paddle shifts. And just from the BHP side of things, this produces 395 brake horsepower, 440 Newton meters of torque, top speed is 183 miles per hour, and the 0 to 62 miles per hour possible in 4.3 seconds. And having it in the Sport Plus setting, it even holds the gears for that tad bit longer, and you've got to manually shift down and shift back up, and you could do that via two places. Number one, through the paddle shifts on the steering wheel. Number two, you could literally slide the gear selector to the left, and if you want to go up a gear, you just push it slightly forward, and if you like to go down a gear, you just push it down, and that just sort of takes you down a gear. Are you in a convertible? Are you in a, coupe with a sunroof? Is this, a hardtop saloon car? What is it? And it's just a reminder that being a Targa, it is special, whether you like it or you don't. I had a customer a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, she's been diagnosed with cancer, and she was just here buying something for her daughter, who's recently passed a driver's license, and she was just getting one of the just cheerful Part X's that we've had that somebody used to station runs, and she saw this whilst I was in the middle of doing the intro of this video, and she's like, if I get better, this is what she will buy. If this is what you're thinking of getting, this is what you're aspiring to get, don't hesitate, get out there, do it whilst you can, rather than it being a bit too late. So thank you for being here in this section of the video whilst I show around the car, talk about this car, and now let's just sort of move on to the spec of the exterior of the vehicle and the paperwork. So thank you one more time. See you next time. Bye bye.
Dit is wel goed.
I'll actually just add a little bit more to the video. This is with the sports button pressed. Hear this. Honestly, this is music to my ear. With the sports button turned off now. Naturally aspirated 3.8 litre with Chrono Sport Plus sport steering wheel. I mean, this has got everything you could possibly imagine in a sports car, especially a Targa. Thank you for watching. And if this is not something that you're looking to buy, maybe don't consider watching the rest of the video. So thank you up to this point, and I will consider posting up to this section of the video separately onto my Invictus Porsche channel. Thanks.